Nearly 2 decades ago, beverage scientists at Starbucks were tasked with creating a drink that captures the very essence of fall. By digging into an old-timey recipe and tapping into some deep-seated Americana nostalgia, the coffee chain birthed a seasonally appropriate beverage that sold hundreds of millions of cups and spawned about 1 million misguided ripoffs. It's a flavor that's become one of the most influential, mimicked, and maligned food inventions in recent history. And it all started in a tiny room in Seattle. 2003. In Starbucks' Washington headquarters, inside the top-secret R&D department nicknamed the Liquid Lab, Peter Dukes, director of espresso, and his team were debating what autumn tastes like. After countless brainstorms and extensive online surveys, they narrow the field down to 4 potential autumn suspects in the latte lineup. A chocolate caramel drink, an orange and spice latte, a cinnamon streusel latte, which would later appear on menus as a cinnamon dolce latte, and a pumpkin pie flavored latte that barely made the cut. During the development phase, they dig up recipes for pumpkin spice cakes dating back to the 1930s, featuring nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove, and they use a thicker flavor sauce in lieu of syrup to recreate the pie's distinct mouthfeel. Eventually, they come out with a latte that vaguely tastes like pumpkin pie. But Starbucks execs had bigger qualms than the lack of actual pumpkin in the drink. They also just thought the latte was too, for lack of a better word, weird. But Dukes knew the flavor would trigger Thanksgiving-y Americana sentiment sensors hidden deep within our brains. And obviously, he was right. The pumpkin pie latte clearly stands out during the testing phase, and they decide to greenlight it with the Live, Laugh, Love style name, the Fall Harvest Latte. Until they realized customers would have no idea what that meant, so they changed it to Pumpkin Spice. In 2004, after immediately successful trials in Vancouver and Washington, D.C., the drink is available nationwide at the beginning of autumn. For reference, Avril Lavigne's My Happy Ending is the biggest hit at the time, and like the classic Avril ballad, the PSL warms body and soul, and is decidedly not a passing fad. The drink became a billion-dollar product for Starbucks and left an almost unthinkable dent on popular culture. But the legacy of the PSL isn't just about making the caffeine mermaid company a ton of cash. The drink that was intended to evoke flavor nostalgia has ended up being a rite of autumn passage in itself, and a yearly reminder of what too much of a good thing looks like. In the ensuing years, basically every major coffee company has released a pumpkin spice riff. And we've seen the likes of pumpkin spice butter, pumpkin spice Pringles, pumpkin spice hummus, dog treats, beer, deodorant, a collab with Easter, and pumpkin spice peeps. And of course, pumpkin spice poppers. Normally released in late August, it's a yearly tradition for websites like Thrillist, Twitter hotheads like this guy, and comedians like John Oliver to lambaste, lament, or celebrate the return of the PSL and its innumerable ripoffs. But it wasn't until the early 2010s when the drink became synonymous with an internet joke that's tired at best and pretty sexist at worst, aka the basic bitch. 1 part big-ass scarf, 2 Ugg boots, a prerequisite PSL in hand, and an episode of The Office running in the background. The trope of the basic is one of the defining cultural cliches of our time, and the PSL is, of course, a major building block of that myth, for better or worse. Probably worse. Which, by the way, all culminates in Christian Girl Autumn. Amen! In 2015, Starbucks adds real pumpkin puree to the PSL, which, according to some purists, does slightly change the overall flavor of the drink, but the drink, unfettered, continues its meteoric rise. Which brings us to our final point. Why is the PSL, a drink so reviled by so many, so beloved by the red-eyed masses? If you mix limited time availability, see our McRib video for thoughts on FOMO marketing, with the lizard brain appeal of a nostalgic flavor that's now nostalgic in itself, then load it with so much sugar you can't even tell you're drinking coffee, It's not hard to calculate how this perfect storm of autumnal happenstance became our favorite fall pick-me-up. So we salute you, Pumpkin Spice Latte, for inspiring limitless amounts of content for people like us, for making pumpkin spice poppers a real thing you can buy, and for ultimately delivering a new fall culinary tradition that doesn't involve sticking our faces into dirty water. Because if you want to cancel anything about autumn, let's start there. Honestly, it's really gross. Hey y'all, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and comment on what you want us to cover next. We might not actually do it, but we'll definitely read the comment. Thanks!